out of bed. Get out now, time's wasted. There's no reward for hesitating.
Hey, I used to work in security. Yep, not the kind of job you would expect from me, but it's true. And I never really planned to be in security, it just worked out that way. Because when we first moved to Jefferson City, Missouri, I didn't have a job. We had an apartment set up, and so immediately I had to start looking for a job. Well, before I had gotten a job, I went outside to smoke. I was wearing these tan BDU pants, and I think a green t-shirt. And you know, I have these little pouches on my belt with knives and whatnot on them, in them, which I always do. None of that's very out of the ordinary for me. So anyhow, I go outside to smoke. And there was some other people out there. So a couple of neighbor guys, I guess. And one of them looked over and he's like, "Rent-a-cop." I was like, okay. It was completely based on the tan BDUs and the stuff on my belt. I know that I must be a rent-a-cop. Whatever, dumb fucks. Well, I applied at Michael's Frame Shop because I'd worked there before in various different states and I'd always had good success with getting hired there. And I knew the job. And I also applied for Allied Security because they were hiring. I figured, what the hell? Well, Allied Security called me first. And they were offering more money than Michael's was. So I figured, what the hell? And I went to the interview. Well, the job was overnight security in a factory. I thought, yeah, I could do that. You know, in the middle of the night when no one's there, the place is closed. Just walk around and make sure that, you know, nothing's going to catch on fire. Make sure that all the doors are locked and no one's trying to get in or vandalize the place. And just basically keep an eye on the place overnight when no one's there, right? So yeah, that's my kind of gig. Well, I didn't realize the place runs 24 hours a day. And in the middle of the night when I worked, there was like 300 people there running full tilt, right? The place never closed. Well, every now and then they'd close for maintenance, but not regularly. But at the same time, my job still remained. I was supposed to walk around, make sure that, you know, no machines were rattling apart, or there was no, you know, oil leaks on the floor to cause people to slip and fall. No fire hazards that was going to put the people that worked there in danger. And I did have to make sure and check, make sure the doors were secure, that no one that doesn't belong there doesn't sneak in for nefarious reasons. But despite the fact that I was out there just basically looking after the people that worked there, everybody treated me like I was some kind of cop. Either they treated me like I was a cop that was out there to bust them doing things that they're not allowed to do, or they treated me like I thought I was a cop, like I thought I was some kind of badass, but I wasn't good enough to make it in the real police force or whatever. And neither one was true, of course. But that's how they treat you. I don't know why. Even though every time I got commended for something, it was always for, you know, doing a good job to keep people safe. And almost never had to get anybody in trouble for some reason. It happened. I remember I had to stop these two guys that were getting ready to fight one time, but that kind of thing's incredibly rare. But then there was one time that I was on break, so I went in the cafeteria and I put my food in the microwave, right? And I'm standing there waiting for my microwave to get done. Some dude walks in and said, you guarding the microwaves now?" And I was like, "Yep." And he rolls his eyes, walks on by. Right then the microwave, beep, beep. So I opened it, got my food out, and walked away. And I was hoping that he felt as stupid as he looked at that moment. But that's the thing, is like, I can't just be doing normal guy stuff, right, going in there to get my lunch. I must be on the case, or at least I think I better watch the microwaves, but that's how they treat you. And of course, part of the job, you know, everyone had to use their employee badge to open the door for safety purposes, you know. And it was part of my job to make sure that they did. And, of course, they all had to whine and complain every time. And I heard many people say, "I can't imagine nobody wanting to be in here that didn't have to be." Right? Well, one of the things I got commended for was I intercepted a threatening fax where some guy was saying he was going to come in and shoot the place up. Right? I found it, and I brought the management and police in on it, and they got the guy, and I was lauded as a security professional hero, right? Even though nobody'd want to be in there that didn't have to be, right? And then one time, a guy I worked with, otherwise very good guard, foolishly, after this happened, let some guy come in. He wanted directions to get to the hospital because his father was in the hospital and he needed to get there. Well, this guy didn't know how to get to the hospital, so he let the guy go in the cafeteria to talk to somebody else. And needless to say, he was panhandling to try to get bus fare to go see his dad in the hospital. But people ate that up. So what kind of security we got? They just let anybody come in. Even though they don't even want the damn doors to be locked. So that's the way they treat you in security in Jefferson City, Missouri factories. And the truth is, nobody cared. They just wanted security there for an insurance write-off anyway. Anytime I had a valid security issue and took it to management, they didn't care. They don't care. It's just figurehead security and the butt of everybody's jokes. So I'm glad I'm not in it anymore, and those people can all get fucked.